Hey YouTube. So it's I think the last Friday in October, and there's frost on the pumpkin, as the Dutch in this neck of the woods say. Let's see, I have my truck running. I gotta go help my neighbor a little bit, and you can see got some pretty good frost there. I gotta check out the kiln, make sure that the dehumidifier is not frozen. It's probably not, because this is the first really cold night and the bulk of wood in there retains enough heat to keep the temperatures up a little bit. Wow, it is cool in there though. What's that temperature over there saying? It's about 50. Yeah, it's 40 outside here. It's 50 in the greenhouse, or in the kiln. A little bit of water vapor there. I hope this dehumidifier is still working. I've just put this jug here just to see what kind of water I'm getting out of here, and it looks like pretty much. I gotta get this cleaned up over here. Anyway, I hope that thing's working and not frozen in there. I trimmed some of those quarter-sawn boards last night, and this is what I ended up with. Look how nice and straight that board is there. 2x4. I gotta get this stuff stacked before I lose it. Now, even though you have quarter-sawn wood and it's gonna do good for keeping the grain straight, you gotta still take care of the wood. You gotta stack it, you gotta put weight on it, you gotta keep it, you know, from doing what it wants to do. I want to wait for Jim to come over here this morning, and I want to pick this sucker up with my cant hook, or not my cant hook, my what do you call it, grapple, and set this on the sawmill so that I can quarter it. I just need to cut it in half this direction, and then I can finish cutting that up. I'm trying to make sure that I'm cleaned up quickly before because of winter coming. Once it starts to snow, the snow's not going to leave us, I don't think. But I don't want to have all kind of crap laying on here. Not only that, these leaves are driving me crazy. There's thousands and thousands and millions of leaves here. I've been trying to blow them off the driveway, but it's like a never-ending thing. I wish I could sell them. So yeah, I got a little bit of. Jim brought me some bags the other day, so I put this kindling in them. I really wish I knew somebody. I know that there's some old people out there that wish they had kindling, and I don't know where they are. I wish I knew where they were, because I'd give them this stuff. Anyway, it's early. I'm just getting going. I wish I had that stained. Oh, you know what, guys, I was thinking about this, and if you want to leave some comments. I know that this sounds extravagant, or, you know, maybe I'm going overboard. I want this shed to look old-fashioned, and if you take the door out of the equation, it does look old-fashioned. That's what I want. But the door doesn't. So I was thinking, if I cut real thin planks, even if they warp or bend, I really don't care, or dry and shrink. I was thinking about putting boards lengthwise on this, and then put like a board across and a Z, and I think that that would make this look old from the outside. What do you guys think? Am I losing it here, or is that a good idea? It's not top on my list. I'm just thinking about doing it because I want the ambiance to be appropriate. Alright, so you know what, I'll do a bit of a video here with my backhoe while I'm at it. This is a 1983 Ford TLB, they're called, tractor loader backhoe. Okay, and I bought this new years ago, well, 1983, and I actually bought about 6 of them at the time because I really liked them. Now, I'm not a Ford guy. I have all Chevys, I drive all Chevys. I do use Fords for certain things, like the Ford F450 truck is the nice intermediate truck that Chevy never built. But anyway, these Ford backhoes, as far as I'm concerned, are bulletproof. Now there are little things that go wrong with them. For instance, I had a problem a couple of years ago when I sort of rebuilt this. Now it's been a while and it sits outside, so it's dirty, but the hydraulic tank sits in here. This is the radiator, but the hydraulic tank sits in there. And the hydraulic tank is, I don't know, maybe the size of 4 shoe boxes. You know, regular old-fashioned shoe boxes, not these big ones. And what happened was, from heating and cooling, actually you can see it from the front here, it's actually right there. So from heating and cooling, the tank had metal fatigue around the outside edges, and I was looking for a new tank. I could not find one. And by the way, if you have one of these, you can find pretty much all the parts you need on New Holland's website. All you gotta do is type in Ford TLB and they'll start coming up for you, and the model number. This is a model 550. But yeah, so anyway, I fixed that hydraulic tank and I haven't had any leaks or anything with it. I do have a tiny little leak in the power steering, and I just don't fix it. It's not enough to, you know, it leaks like maybe a quart a month, so it's not really enough for me to go after it yet, but that's what it's developed. I keep the oil changed on it regularly. You can see the oil filter there, and it uses some, the diesel fuel's not an issue, and it's never froze up on me. The filter's on the other side actually to change, but you know, I never had problems with this thing running. I did have to replace the starter last year, and the starters on these things are massive. I think they're on the other side, but I think I paid like 250 bucks for the starter, and I was happy to have it. I kept the old one because there's supposed to be a guy that can rebuild them good, and I want to get it to him. But I replaced the starter, and right there it is. And I also put that canister on to help heat the water and keep the motor warm for in the winter time when I need it to start. But since I put the new starter on, it seems to be in better shape. I had replaced the tires not long ago, the back tires. The front tires are actually from a truck. They're heavy truck tires, and I just put them on. I have no problem with it. You saw me carrying like 2 or 3 logs with it, and the tires take it, so at this point I'm okay. The loader bucket, and I had repainted the whole tractor, so it's a little off color. It's not the exact yellow that Ford had at one time, but it's good enough. But anyway, the bucket on this, I put a new cutting edge on here. I actually got it off of eBay and welded this cutting edge on here, oh man, when I was restoring it, so like I say, about 6 years ago or better. And the bucket is in serious need of some strapping. You can see it's like on the sides here. You welders out there will know what I mean when I say hard surfacing. This thing needs to be hard surfaced, you know, with some high weld beads to hold dirt, and it needs some plating on the bottom of it to keep it from wearing through. I really enjoy having this thing though, because I can make quick attachments for it, like these forks. I made these out of some 2x2 stuff that I was going to use for a new plow frame for my pickup, but well, that ain't happening this year, so that's what happened with that. All the pins and stuff on this, all the grease fittings on the whole backhoe everywhere take grease, so that's a good thing. I grease it pretty often. I haven't been able to find, I'm looking for a grease called Lubriplate. It's like a whitish looking grease, and I can't find it around here for some reason. I used to love using that stuff. I felt like that was some good glue, or not good glue, good grease. So then some of the drawbacks on this thing is, on the backhoe, what happened was there's a pin that goes through here to not this pin. This backhoe pivots side to side on this pin and this pin. Not that pin, but there's a pin in here that goes through this chain. This chain makes this backhoe go from side to side. Now, it's not the best idea, but it works. The problem is that the pin kept falling out. So what I did underneath there, I did like Cat does, and I took and I welded this piece to the pin so I could bolt it. Where's my finger at on this thing? Oh, so I could bolt this, and I haven't had any problem with it since. It used to fall out and I'd have to go digging around trying to find it, and when it would fall out, the back